Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jani. First of all, I take this opportunity to pay my respects to Kulapati Munshiji, who has contributed a lot for the furtherance and propagation of Sanskrit studies as well as Indian culture. Dr. Jani just said that they had some series, Singi Jain Mala, etc., wherein manuscripts were edited. I'll start with very important work which most of the Sanskrit scholars have not heard that. There was one great mathematics scholar in Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, D.D. Kosambi. He
Yes,
was
sir.
a professor of mathematics, but he had edited the
Yes, sir.
every Satakatraya Bhartrihari, and that was published by the Bharati Vidya Bhavan. The importance of this critical edition is, see, when we say there is Shatakatraya, that means there are supposed to be 300 verses. Dr. Kosambi studied many manuscripts from all over India except Kashmir, and he observed that there is no manuscript of Shatakatraya in Sharda script from Kashmir. All other areas of in India have the manuscripts. And he came with a startling conclusion that though we say it is the Shatakatraya, he said there are so many additions of other Subhasitas also, totaling to nearing 600 verses. So how the verses got, so to say, included in Shatakatraya from different parts of India? There are two main traditions for the northern tradition and southern tradition. Will come to that later on. Today our topic is importance of manuscript studies. See why we should study manuscript. For the students who are here, I'll give very important tip. See, nowadays you see that most of the research is based on secondary sources. If you read the books, you have a long list of bibliography and long list of footnotes also, which suggest that the author has collected material from different sources. So it is a kind of a copy. You can say heavily borrowing from different scholars, earlier scholars, etc. But once you start working on manuscript, that is the primary source. So there is no question of your copying anything. So I would urge the student to study manuscripts and edit them to get their PhD degree. I did this PhD degree by editing the very rare work known as Yadavendra Mahoday. We had 3 copies of that, one in Bombay University and 2 were in Pune. So that was my thesis somewhere in 35 years back. So there is no question of copy paste, which is rampant nowadays everywhere. If you see, many of the theses are just collection from material this side, that side. You put it together. And I read one thesis, I don't mention the student and the guide. He had literally copied from a great author known as Professor A.D. Pusarkar, who was working with the Bharati Vidya Bhavan. The only thing was, he, in the beginning of the quotation, he used to say, as Dr. Pusarkar rightly suggests, and he quotes passages after passages, so it does not come under plagiarism, but it is plagiarism. And I told him to rewrite the entire thesis in his own words, not in the words of Professor Pusarkar. Get the point? So
Yes, sir.
be a little bit cautious that you don't get into the trap of copying. And if you work on manuscript, there is no question of copying. Only you have to copy the manuscript faithfully and work on it. Now you will ask me, what is the importance of manuscript studies? See, nearly 100 years back, we had no published work of Kautilya's Arthashastra. Neither had we any work composed by Bhasa. We knew Bhasa is referred to by Kalidasa in Malvikagnimitra. Bhasa Kaviputra Saumilakadidan Granthan Atikramya. But till 1910 or 15, nobody knew the exact works of Bhasa. We had it. Bhasa Nataka Chakre Piche, Kshipe Parikshitum. All these eulogies of Bhasa were there. But when Ganpati Shastri edited the word Bhasa Nataka Chakra, we came to know that Bhasa did exist before Kalidasa. So this is a kind of missing links of historical and cultural importance. So when you study a manuscript, it is likely that you get the missing links which we had lost in course of time. Second instance is Kautilya's Arthashastra. You know, Shama Shastri edited in 1909. Till that time, we only knew Yena Shastram cha Shastram cha Nandaraja Gata cha Bhu Amarshena Udrutanyashu Tena Shastram Idam Krutam. This is the first verse of the Kautilya Artha Shastra. Kautilya, Vishnu Gupta, Chanakya, whatever you want to say. But we had no direct copy of the published work of Artha Shastra. So it came to our hand some 110 years back. So again, with the publication of the Kautilya Dartha Shastra, a fund of information was given out to the scholars by R. Shama Shastri. And if you go to Kautilya Dartha Shastra, it is not only Artha Shastra or economics as we call it today, it is a science or work on Rajaniti Shastra, polity, and includes economics, it includes all the problems connected with economics. That means you can say management of economics, entrepreneurship, everything. And one very important observation of Kautilya 25 years ago is that a person who is in charge of accounts does embezzle accounts, does create problems. हम बोलते हैं ना पैसा खाता है, mismanagement of money. How does he do it? How the other person don't understand it? Kautilya says, he gave very important simile. He said, fish is there in the water, but you don't know when the fish drinks water. In the same way, you can't locate a person who is eating money, in our language, eating money, embezzling money. And when it is overboard, then only somebody comes and catches the culprit. But this observation of Kautilya's Arthashastra still is 100% correct. Second thing, when we come to manuscript, we have a very important meaning of the word manuscript. What is the vyapti? See, in Sanskrit it is a vyapti. In English we say connotation. What is the connotation of the word manuscript? That means how many things are included in manuscript. As students of Sanskrit, you know that there is not a single subject under the sun, including sun, which is not dealt with in Sanskrit language. So all subjects connected with our life before birth, life during our journey to life, all these words are in Sanskrit. So when you know that Sanskrit is so important, you have to look to the word manuscript in a different way. Manuscript is manus and script. So manus is hand and script is written. Whatever is written by hand is a manuscript. You get the point? Now you will ask me, is painting a manuscript? Because it is not written, but I will say it is a manuscript because it is painted. There is some lining, some picture which gives a cohesive meaning to the person who sees it. Sometimes we say we don't understand some paintings. We don't have some chitrakala. We say it is modern art. Why it is modern art? Because what the artist want to say does not enter our head. We don't understand it. We don't comprehend it. So we say it is modern art. We don't understand it. So this is not the case with manuscript. Manuscript writer sees to it that whatever idea he has to convey to the other party, he has to convey it successfully, not in an ambiguous way. Get the point? So manuscripts are those words which give you some idea of the author which passes through your head. I'll add one more thing. Everybody has heard the name of Tamrapatra, copper plate grants. Then inscriptions. So all these are manuscripts because inscriptions are written, scratched, so to say. They are scratched on the metal, copper plate. So that also is a kind of manuscript. Inscription also is manuscript because they are written, and important thing with inscription and copper plates is they cannot be recopied. Once it is written, it is permanent. But we are not going to see those manuscripts when we study our Sanskrit manuscript, because though inscriptions, or you can say paleography, is a part of manuscriptology, it is a different science. It is science of the writing material, writing methods. So methods of writing is paleography. So it covers inscriptions, it covers Dana Patra, everything. So whatever historical documents we have, that is manuscript. One more important thing, in Orientalist Baroda, we have 21 plates of Sri Yantra on copper plate, drawn on copper plate. So that also is a manuscript. Then we have the playing cards, what we call Ganjifa. Ganjifa are the paintings. If you go to original Ganjifa, you see they are painted on lacquer, on the cards prepared from a lacquer. So these are also manuscripts. But our work today, manuscript is those which are written on paper, bhurjapatra, or palm leaf manuscript, tadapatra or talapatra. Because they could be recopied, copied after copied after copied. And one thing you must remember in mind, that we don't have manuscript which date back to 1000 beyond. We don't get original manuscript of Kalidasa Meghaduta. No original manuscript of Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. All these are copies of the copies of the copies. And when we prepare copies, automatically what happens is we add something from our own. If the writer is not author, scribe, lekhanika. See, there is a difference between a writer and a lekha. Writer is one composer. One who composes a poem is a writer or poet. But this writer is lekhanika, that is known as scribe, who copies down the manuscript. Get the point? So while copying down the manuscript, see, our mind is always wandering. You are studying. If you listen to some old song, automatically your mind goes to the radio, and you are physically present in the class, but mentally you are absent. So when the author describes something, narrates something, dictates something to the student, sometimes he is not able to understand the exact pronunciation of the scholar. I'll give you one instance. There are some persons who are not able to distinguish between sh, sh and sh. You get the point? There are persons who are not able to utter word sh. Instead of that, they utter word kho. So instead of varshe, varshe, varshati, varsha, they will say varkhe, varkhe, varkhati, varkha. Get the point? In Rigveda, you say purusha, but Yajurveda is uttered at purukha. Get the point? Yajnena yajnam ayajanta deva is Rigveda. The Yajurveda will call it Jajnena jajnam. So ja changes to ja. This is the difference between pronunciation. When the pronunciation is different, if a person is dictating someone else, he is not able to understand that pronunciation, and he understand in a different way, understand writes in second way. So this is the way how manuscript get corrupt. That means lots of mistakes enter while writing down the manuscript. So there is a tradition which is known as autograph copy. You know autograph? See, when we were youngsters, we were very crazy about getting autographs of good persons from different fields. One of my friends from Bombay, Vijay Deshpande, he had a huge collection of autographs from different parts of the scholars of and political leaders also, different parts of India and the world. So those autograph copies very important, because either autograph manuscript, either it is written by the author himself. Get the point? Autograph in his own hand. Auto is own. You know automobile. So auto is own. So one manuscript, the work which is written by the author himself, is an autograph copy, or it is dictated by the author to his student or to his son, that also could be an autograph copy. And third thing is, he dictates it, he finds some mistakes, then again corrects it. So that also is an autograph copy. So when you get an autograph copy, it is supposed to be most important document coming from the right hand of the writer. Get a point? So while writing, you will not commit mistake. It so happens that you do commit mistake, but again you correct the mistakes. Get the point? So your samskara is there, samskarana is there, critical editing is there. So once you write a poem, you say that this is something different. You get the point? See, sometimes we misuse parasmepad atmada. Na tatha badate shitam, yatha badati badati. You know this story. So paras atmanepad, that mistake we do. The moment we understand we have committed mistake, in the margin he will write the correct meaning. That is the origin of marginal notes. And as students, you know, say as teacher we know, students on the back bench, lords of the back bench, and general student write something at the end of their notebook as a kind of hint to his fellows. See, this teacher is useless teacher. He is not able to teach properly this. All this is seen on the last page of your notebook. There you have the paintings also, you have designs also, everything is there. So that is the origin of your happiness. But only thing is, your friend only understand that, no one else will understand. So your art goes to the particular person for it is meant. Get the point? Third thing about manuscript is, once you prepare a manuscript on subject, you feel that it should be illustrated with some designs. So here comes the illustrated manuscripts. Get the point? Illustrated manuscript, minute writing, paintings, everything in illustration. See, we have a tradition of Ragamala paintings. You know Ragamala?
Yes.
Raga from Sangita Shastra. So first is the pictorial description of Raga, Kedar Rag, whatever it is. And then the text of the Raga. So Ragamala painting is a very important field of research. See, there are different styles of paintings in India. Medieval painting, Gujarat painting, Rajasthan painting, Maharashtra painting, then the North Indian painting, Bengali painting. Get the point?
Yes.
All these have, but all these manuscripts, and I'll tell you, have you heard the name of the Bhavani Chitra Sangrahale? It is in Aund, which is 47 kilometers away from Satara. Balasaheb Pant Pratinidhi, the owner of that, he had a huge collection of illustrated manuscripts. I have got photos of Saptashati, 57 pictures of Saptashati. Then he have Ragamala paintings also. He himself was a painter, so he had painted the entire Valmiki Ramayana. That also is there. So this one also is one of the important subjects for the student for their study. Ragamala paintings. If you are good at Sangeeta, go to Ragamala paintings. See whether vegetable colors are used or artificial colors are used. You will know the difference. Get a point? So painting, Ragamala paintings or illustrated manuscripts are one of the subjects. I am just giving you different topics that way so that you will point out note down something. Then we come to a very important aspect of manuscript. See, everybody knows the role in our camera. You know, everybody knows the role. But we have in Baroda, it's a Jain contribution. We have scrolls. Scroll, that means rolls of the paper which are on which something is written. So that is known as scroll. Script and roll put together is scroll. And we have a Vidnapti Patra which describes Jaisalmer. See, Vidnapti Patra is an invitation by the chieftain of a village. बोलते हैं ना गांव का पाटिल. So Patil invited Jain Muni
Yes.
to his place. Now how the Jain Muni is supposed to reach your home? So first there are three parts of Vidnapti Patra. One is pictorial description. He gives a picture. Here the king stays, here a Vaishya stays, here a Brahmin stays, here all these things. Then the actual invitation. And third is signatories. Then it may be Patil, whatever it is. So this we have a very good Vidnapti Patra depicting Jaisalmer for Rajasthan. It is some 200-year-old. And we got this as a present from Maharaja Sahajirao Gaikwad. He had this in its collection. Another important work which Gaikwad gave scroll is Mahabharata scroll. 84 feet long Mahabharata scroll. Minute writing and paintings. Even with the help of the magnifying glass, you can't read it. Because as I always say, they were working under sunlight and we are working under tube light. So our eyes are not so sharp as they had there. So this also is one of the important field of research. We have another manuscript of Bhagavata. Same thing. Entire Bhagavata is miniature painting, minute writing. So these are the presentation by Maharaja Sahajirao Gaikwad to the Oriental Institute. So this part over. Now we come to other part. When you say what manuscript, script is important. How many scripts are used in India? Do you know? How many scripts are used in India? At least for Sanskrit study. I'll just enlist them. Most important was Devanagari. Devanagari was available everywhere except to some extent not in South, except in Tanjore. So Devanagari was mostly available everywhere. Then we start with, you are in Bombay, we start with Maharashtra. Maharashtra, we have another script known as Modi. But Modi script was used mainly for historical purpose. Danapatra or Abakar Vanga. That means historical correspondence. So one who knows Marathi only can understand the Modi script. Then we come to Gujarat, where I am speaking from. We have the Devanagari here, script. We have Gujarati Devanagari also. And one important thing is, we have Prushtha Matra, Padi Matra, which is the contribution of the Jains. See, we write outside the O, O, Au. But in Padi Matra, backside, or Prushtha Matra, we write O, then the other Matra is like this, Au. So this is the typical contribution of the Jain scholars, Padi Matra. If you are able to read a Padi Matra manuscript, you can read any manuscript. Get the point? And this Padi Matra is available in Bengali also, in Maithili also, this side, back side. So Padi Matra is there. Then we go to go upwards. We have the Gurumukhi script in Punjab. Uppermost is Sharada script. Sharada is in Kashmir. So Devanagari is available everywhere. Sharada is there. Then we come to Bengal. There is Bengali script. There is Assami script. Maithili script. Newari script. Newari is Nepal. The original word for Nepal is Newar. So that no script is Newari script. Assami script. Then go to Orissa. Then we come to down. We have Tamil script. But the problem with Tamil script is, see, K stands for all. K, K, G, G, G. So unless you are a Tamil person, you will not be able to pronounce the word. It is Dravid, Munnetra, Kalgam or Kazagam, whatever it is. So that was not suitable for writing Sanskrit text, Sanskrit words. So they created Grantha script. So Tamil script was used for non-Sanskrit text, Tamil text, everything. But Grantha script was used by Tamilians to write in Sanskrit. Then we have Malayalam script from Kerala. Then we come to Telugu script. And in Karnataka, we have Kannada script. We have Nandi Nagari script also. Nandi Nagari. Nagari and Nandi Nagari. A little bit of like that. And Kerala, you have Vattelittu. Then Tiglari script in Kannada. So all these are minor script. Tudu script is there. Tudu has a rich collection. If you go to coastal area of Karnataka, you will see Tudu manuscripts. So these were the manuscript scripts which were used in while writing the manuscript. Now what was the material on which the something was written? That is known in Sanskrit as Lipi Asana. That means on which the Lipi sits. So Lipi Asana, most important which we know is paper. But paper, before paper, we had palm leaf manuscript, Talapatra or Tadapatra. We had Bhurjapatra. Bhurja trees grow only in Kashmir. So if you go to Kashmir, get one Bhurja Patra. It is the inner skin of the Bhurja tree on which something is written. And for your information, see, most of us used to have tavis here, tavis, tout. So in that tavis, there are certain things, certain yantras, Bisa yantra is, all those yantras are an example of magic square. Do you know the word magic square? You take magic square is you do this, everything. The sum total is same. You go vertical, diagonal, everything. So those magic square were written on Bhurja Patra and then folded and put in your tavis as an antidote for black magic. Earlier used, I don't know whether nowadays people follow this on. In our way, it was there. Modern times, I don't know. So this Bhurja Patra is basically used there. And most important thing of Bhurja Patra is, see, Kashmir is known as the seat of learning. Most of the outstanding Sanskrit scholars come from Kashmir. Alter ending, Mammata, Bhallata, Kallata, all those are Kashmiri scholars. And the contribution of Kashmir is Kashmir Shaivism, Pratyabhijna philosophy or Trika philosophy. It is a combination of Natha Sampradaya, Shaiva Sampradaya, etc. And you will be wondered to know our great Jnaneshwara was a follower of Trika philosophy. He was influenced by Kashmir Shaivism. If you read his Amrutanubhava and Jnaneshwari, you will realize that he came from that same lineage of scholars. So that is the importance of Sharda script. And one more thing is, important thing is, unfortunately, Sharda manuscripts are not available, not much number outside Kashmir. In Baroda, we have only 9 manuscripts written in Sharda script. And those are this Raghuvamsha, Kumar Sambhav, etc. But basic point of Sharda script is a wonderful amount of manuscripts on Trika philosophy or Pratyabhijna philosophy, Pratyabhijna Rudayam, then Tikas, Tikas on the Tikas, all these things. If you go to Jammu, there is Jew, Mr. Jew, that is his surname. He has an ashrama there, I have seen it. A huge amount of manuscripts written in Sharda script on Bhurja Patra, but basically dealing with Trika philosophy or Kashmir Shaivism. Get the point? Next one. So we took into account the scripts, the manuscripts, etc. Now our next point is, what are the areas in which the modern students, Sanskrit students, can work for the betterment of their prospects as well as furtherance or advance in knowledge? See, the problem of majority of Sanskrit scholars, I would say 95% of scholars, teachers particularly, they don't go to the manuscript studies. Very few persons study manuscript. Because manuscript study, you require perseverance. You require perseverance, chikati. You must know, see, once you are able to read a manuscript, it will be easy for you. But the difficulty is, pratama grase makshika prataha. So reading a manuscript creates a difficulty. You are not used to it. I will say one simple example. See, you write in your hand and your handwritten paper and a type letter. What is the difference between that? Can you say anything? Student can say what is the difference between a printed book and a manuscript? Anybody?
It varies every time.
Pardon?
It varies every time. It varies. Difference.
Yes, no, but how? See, in
a written copy, there is a, we can see variations of the letters as written. As a writer can write A in a different manner, whereas other writer can write the A in a different manner. Whereas in a typing copy, we have a same design, a same pattern of a A.
Yes. Can I extend this to another see? See, in manuscripts, you don't have punctuation marks, except the end. But in printed, you have manuscript. In printed book, you have punctuation mark. You have comma, you have semicolon, you have full stop, your Udgarvachak Chinna, all these are absent in manuscript. So the difference between the manuscript and a printed book is manuscript is written in a very simple, continuous way. But in printed book, the words are broken. See, breaking the word is a difficult thing because there is a very important Subhashita. तैलात रक्षेत जलात रक्षेत रक्षेत शिथिल वंदनात मूर्ख हस्ते न दातव्यम एतद वदती पुस्तकम. नाउ हाउ टू डिवाइड मूर्ख हस्ते न दातव्यम और मूर्ख हस्ते न दातव्यम. Is it clear or subtle? Get the point? So we have to know a little bit of Sanskrit Vyakaran also. We have to know a little bit Chanda Shastra also, which is the fifth word is Laghu or Guru. Otherwise, we have scholars, modern scholars, whose Anushtup Chanda, one line has 9 syllables and second line has 7 syllables, totally 16. So this is not Kavya. So they require basic things. So unless and until you understand where to break a word, it will not be possible to understand. See, I always give one important, when we were editing Ramayana, we found so many manuscripts where 2 words were written separately, Dasara, Masara. What is Dasara, Masara? You are dealing with Ramayana, what is Dasara, Masara? We could not get anything. I scratched my head for nearly 2 days. Then it struck me that it could be Dasha Rama Sharaha. So the writer, the scribe did not understand. See, so he wrote Dasara Masara. So Dasha Rama Sharaha. To kill 10 heads of Ravana, Rama required 10 arrows. So that was the position. Dasha Rama Sharaha. He did not understand anything. He wrote Dasara Masara. When I saw that means some next scribe saw, he wrote like that only. Yadrusham likhitam drushtam tadrusham likhitam maya. The thing. Yadrusham likhitam drushtam tadrusham likhitam maya yadi shuddham ashuddham va mama dosho na vidyate. Everything. This is not my fault. Whatever I am a faithful copier. I just copy down without understanding anything. But they don't understand कि नकल में भी अकल की जरूरत होती है. They don't have it. So Dasara Masara created a problem for me for 2 days, 48 hours. But since I was student of grammar, something struck, and I got to that. Dasha Rama Sharaha. So these are the minor things, but create a lot of trouble. So look to that while deciphering the manuscript. It is not a simple. लाडू खावाना નથી, जलेबी ખાવાનું જેટલું સહેલું નથી. जलेबी खाना सोपं नहीं है. Therefore, teachers generally don't go to manuscript. We are fools working in our paradise for manuscript studies. As Dr. Jani said, how many students, how many teachers are there who are working on manuscript? Just count on the fingertips. So I spent my entire life, 46 years in manuscripts only. So what you get today, you will not find anywhere in any book, printed book, because this is my personal first-hand information of manuscript reading, locating manuscript. There is not a single institute in India where manuscripts are deposited, which I have not visited, either for manuscript collection or for lecturing or for taking Viva, PhD, Viva, etc. So all the institutes in India have been visited by me, right from Kashmir to Tanjavur, Saraswati Mal Library, Tanjavur. Then Trivandrum, 6 times I went. Calcutta, 7 times. Everywhere. So wherever I go, I first jot down the places where manuscripts are kept, and then I go and meet the scholars and read a manuscript. Last month I was in Varanasi and Prayagraj, only for this person. So these things which you get from me, these are first-hand information, no copy, no second-hand information, no secondary source, primary source, and my own personal experience. Now it is already half an hour. How much I am supposed to speak, Hitesh?
Yes, please.
Yes. 5 o'clock.
Till 5 o'clock?
Yes, please.
Yes.
We could have question and answers, or should I continue?
Continue, sir.
Continue, all right? See, See, now I have come here to the subjects which Sanskrit scholars and others. See, Sanskrit scholars are basically working on Nyaya, Vyakarana, Vaisheshika, Veda, classical literature, etc., 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 where there is lot of repetition, pishtapesanam, and I told you, copy paste, modern time is copy paste. But there are certain subjects where our knowledge of Sanskrit could be useful to other persons who are not Sanskrit scholars. Get the point? So I always advise the Sanskrit scholars now apply your Sanskrit knowledge to other subjects. You know Sanskrit. You are a Sanskrit scholar. But how many persons, Sanskrit scholars, know the difference between the meaning of the word Vinaya in general Sanskrit and meaning of the word Vinaya according to Kautilya? You get the difference? Kautilya uses the word Vinaya in a different way. We say it a very polite man. That Vinaya is different. Kautilya's Vinaya is different. So if you are a Sanskrit grammarian, you will understand it. Get the point? Am I right? Hitesh, am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So you must know grammatical idiom also. Kim Sushishtam Tavo Atra. That's what he calls. It was their duty to utter the plans. What more you have done? You are supposed to do it. Get the point? But only grammarian will understand it. Sarpishopi Syat. See, when you go for the function, now there is buffet. Those days there was no buffet. So person who will give ghee will go like this. So I will ask Sarpi, is there anything like Sarpi? Is there anything like ghee in your ladle? You are doing like this only? So this is grammatical idiom. That means he just show that he is pouring ghee on your puran pori. In fact, that does nothing. Well, not 2 drops. But only grammarian will understand it. Get the point? Sarpi Sopi step. So when you have good ground in grammar, you will be in a better position to understand the language. See, in old days, in Rigveda, we have a very important simile. You know, the Rigveda Kavi says, a wife undresses herself only before her husband. In the same way, the language undresses herself or itself only before a grammarian.
Yes.
If you are Vyakarana, you will be in a better position to understand the language rather than also Saitika. And because of this, even the Sahitya Shastra says, Budhaihi Vyakaranahi, Vyakaranaha Prathame Vidwansaha. And you know Jagannath Pandit has created 108 varieties of Upama on the basis of grammar only.
Yes, yes, sir.
There was one great scholar, Bhoja, who wrote a very big work known as Shrungara Prakasha. 24 chapters of Shrungara Prakasha.
Yes, sir.
But the first 8 chapters of Shrungara Prakasha are nothing but a study of Sanskrit Vyakarana connected with Sanskrit Alankar Shastra. You know it?
Yes,
First
yes.
chapters, only Vyakarana.
Yes.
And that edition is not brought out by any grammarian. Even Dr. V. Raghavan could not bring out an edition of that. He has written a wonderful edition of Shrungar Prakash in English, etc. That he has not touched that point of Vyakarana and Alankar. So this is one of these topics which you can work on it.
That was published by Dwivediji and his son.
Pardon?
Sir Dwivediji and his son. Recently it was published in 2 volumes. Shrungara Prakash. Entire text of Shrungara Prakash.
Do you know who helped him?
Dwivedi.
Do you know who helped in that? Have you seen that book?
This is the one person who is having here.
I know, I met him, he came to Baroda. I was he gave me the manuscript. He had mentioned in his Prastava.
Because you politely didn't utter the publication of the entire text, so I added it.
I wanted you to know that also. And he had come here with his son Sadashiv Trivedi, who is now professor in BHU.
Yes.
And when I went to Banaras in 2008 for lectures, he had invited me for a dinner.
Yes.
He said, Siddhartha, you have helped me to get manuscripts of, we have original, very rare manuscript in Baroda.
Yes,
And he had mentioned,
I have the book. I read it. That's why I added it.
yes, I have the book. I donated that book to the library of the Bombay University.
Yes,
I have
sir.
2 copies of that, both the volumes.
Yes.
And he has done a wonderful work. But he has not studied Sanskrit Vyakarana Alankara. He has
Yes.
edited.
That's
My
true.
point is studying Sanskrit Vyakarana.
Yes.
I did some work on the aware portion, some
Yes.
emotional integrity. That was in 1980. But I
Yes.
could not complete because suddenly my mother died and everything gone. So I
Yes.
could not complete the project.
Yes, yes,
That
sir.
was 1980,
Yes.
40 years back. But further, nobody has done work on it.
Yes.
This is our own thing. You can work on Nyaya also with the help of, Shabda Bodha, Shabda Prakasha. Now we have that, what is that, linguistics, mathematics and computational linguistics. So your grammar scholarship will be useful for computational linguistics. Then
Yes.
machine translation design, that is there. But most important thing I want the Sanskrit scholar to know is you can help a science scholar understand Sanskrit in his work. Help a very good old scholar, Dr. Iyengar from Bangalore. I was working as professor in Jain University, Bangalore. He had edited 2 works. One is Parashara Tantra. Parashara Tantra is on astronomy, not astrology.
Yes, sir.
Pre-Siddhanta astronomy before even Varahami. So I'll help him there in understanding Sanskrit and his input on astrology, astronomy, the comics, etc. that was there. So that was published in 2012. Then again we published Narada Shilpa Shastra. There are 3 manuscripts, one with me, one Adyar and one was in Karnataka, Orient Research in Mysore. So I translated it, but the engineering input was given by Professor Iyengar. So if we work with the scientists of collaboration will work, and I want Sanskrit scholar to collaborate with scientists. See, last 10 years, I am looking for a doctor, a gynecologist from medicine, not a Ayurveda gynecologist. I have a work known as Napusaka Murtarnava.
Ah.
See, there are 2 works, Shandha Adhikara, Shanda Chikitsa, and Napusaka Murtarna. What is the difference between a Shanda and Napusaka?
Yes.
Sanskrit we have it. Do the modern doctors make a difference or they just call it breach? Neither male nor female is a breach. But our knowledge of Sanskrit will help the modern Sanskrit, modern infertility clinics. What is our tradition of Sanskrit, of Shanda or Vandya? See, Vandya Jivanam over Vandya Jivanam. See, basically we have known 3 Vandyas. A lady who does not give birth to any child is a Vandya. A lady gives birth only to one child, one girl child is also Vandya. A lady who gives birth only to the girls, daughters, is also Vandya. That was Vandya in those times. But this work mentions 7 types of Vandyas. So how 4 more types came? Who will study that?
Yes.
Modern medicine man will not come to Sanskrit. We have to go to, for 10 years I am trying to get a person like this. I have not been able to do it. Some work, the institute like Bharati Vidya Bhavan should take up this work.
Yes, sir.
So study of Sanskrit manuscripts on Ayurveda from modern viewpoint. And this is very important for modern day research also. Don't look to only foreign countries. Then I have one work known as Vandhya Kalpadruma. What is Kalpadruma? Wish fulfilling thing. But Vandhya also some wish. How whole wish is completed or fulfilled? Who will know it? We have to study Vandhya Kalpadruma. So we have to go back to Sanskrit. So we have the Sanskritis have a very much responsibility of helping the non-Sanskritis or half-baked Sanskritis. I always say Sanskritis are killing Sanskrit and non-Sanskritis are reviving Sanskrit. I'll tell you one instance. Last 46 years, I am working on a topic which is neglected by almost every Indian scholar. And that topic is games in Sanskrit literature. My work is known more in foreign countries than in India. So I made 3 projects Sanskrit words on the game of Ganjifa. Ganjifa is playing cards. Sanskrit words on the game of chess, that means Buddhivar. And Mokshapatra, that is known as snakes and ladders. How many persons know that snakes and ladders or chess also originated in India? Any idea? Any Sanskrit scholar? My work is referred to in by foreign scholars. And recently, my idea, my proposition that chess originated in India is now supported by a German lady with the help of archaeological finds in Ahitchatra. You know where is Ahitchatra? Ahitchatra is a place near Kanauj in Uttar Pradesh. They found chess pieces of terracotta belonging to the Maukhaid dynasty, 7th century AD. And from that it went to Persia and onwards. Even our numerals, Persian call it Hindu numerals. But we say, so this is, see, our mind is bombarded with, what should I say?
Modern.
Not modern, Manasik Gulami. British. They call it Indian numerals, Hindu numerals, and we call it Persian numerals. See the tragedy. So these work, now I worked on these snakes and ladder. There is one professor, James Smith, in Copenhagen University, who submitted a thesis 2 years back on snakes and ladders, a game of knowledge. 528 space PhD thesis I have in my mobile. He has taken snakes and ladders from all over the world. Basing on my work here. We have snakes and ladders in Maharashtra. We have snakes and ladders in Gujarat, that is known as Jnanabaji. You know, the Gujarati language is mix of Urdu, Persian, in Sanskrit, Hindi. So they will call it Baji. They will call it Sal Mubarak for New Year. I tell, don't say Sal Mubarak. Neither Sal nor Mubarak is over. Say New Varsabin, Nava Varsabinanda. Nutan Varsabin. Try to teach their philosophy through Jnanabaji as Jnaneshwar did through Mokshapatra. And Jnaneshwar and Mokshapatra went to South India, Tanjavur, where it is known as Parama Pada Sopana Pada. You get the point?
Yes.
So third is chess. That lady from Munich University, she was basically a Sanskrit scholar, then turned to archaeology. Now she has turned to psychology. So this she proved that Indian the chess originated in India, and this was the proof. So my proof that Chaturanga was the first part of Buddhivar come later on. So that was supported by archaeological finds in 20th century. Get the point? So this is the thing which can do, Sanskrit scholars can do. Third thing, along with this, there is one important work known as Anangaranga. Anangaranga is a work on Hindu Kama Shastra. It was written by Kalyan Malla, who was the secretary of the Prime Minister Lad Khan. So Lad was a Dodi king somewhere in Delhi Sultanate, 15th century. This work, Kalyan Malla Anangaranga, this work was published in 1930 with Marathi translation by one advocate, Gajanand Raghunath Mule from Karjat, near Bombay. In 1934, two Indian scholars took him to a court of law, saying that Anangaranga is Ashlila, indecent. Since he was an advocate, he fought his case, and the person who fought for him was none in that Jagannath Raghunath. You know his name, Gharpure, Dr. Jani.
Yes,
Gharpure was a Dharmasastra scholar after Dr. P.V. Kani. So Gharpure was an advocate. He fought the case for Jagannath Raghunath Mule, and I have a detail. The case was filed in June 1936, and in July 1940, the presidency magistrate, third course Bombay, Oscar H. Brown, delivered his verdict dated 29/7/1940, saying that this work is not indecent, it is not asleela, it gives the Hindu way of erotics, the Indian way of Kama Shastra. But the moment we after word Kama Shastra, it is about, oh, don't go. Sex education is getting important in modern times, but still we are lagging behind.
Yes,
So I would suggest persons like Dr. Jani to collect this, take this. I have edited that commentary on Anangaranga. So in
Yes.
that commentary, you will get Ayurveda, you will get history. So from Ayurvedic point of time, this work is more important.
Yes.
Another work which is important is Swarna Raupyadi Siddhi. Have you heard this name? Swarna Raupyadi Siddhi. That means from base metals, how to turn that base metal into Suvarna and Raupya. That means silver. Swarna Raupyadi Siddha manuscript is our Oriental Institute. It is in Sanskrit, Prakrit and Apabhramsha. Anybody who is a Sanskrit scholar that has a good background in chemistry as well as alchemy can edit this work, Swarna Raupyadi Siddhi. It is a science work. So the Sanskrit scholar can help a science man. Then one more thing, Bhojana Kutuhala. There are three parts of Bhojana Kutuhala. Only one part is published. What about the other two parts? Nobody is ready. We have manuscript of the Bhojana Kutuhala in Baroda, in Pune, in Satara, in Vai, and most important in Tanjavur, from where that Ganesh Raghunath Avasthe came, the author came. So that also is very important. Bhojana Kutuhala is important. And lastly, time is running off. There is one important work still in manuscript form. It is with me. That is Kodanda Mandana. It is a work on archery. 22 chapters on archery, how to shoot an arrow, how to concentrate, how Arjuna killed only that person, he did not kill, hit only the bull of the eye. All these things are given in that, which suggests that yoga is more important for your concentration of mind. So this Kodanda Mandana also, I have prepared a copy of it. If I get a publisher, it will be published with English translation, etc., etc.
Great.
Lastly, we started with Devi. Now we end with Devi. I have a work known as Balavobodhin Tika on Saptashati, Devi Mahatmya, written by Kamala Nayana Jambekar. You know Jambekar is a well-known name in Maharashtra. Bal Shastri Jambekar started Darpana, bilingual, and Bal Shastri Jambekar was the first non-European scholar to be appointed in Elphinstone College in 1826. First non-white scholar. And he was the professor of Hindi. And his grandfather Kamal Nayan has written a commentary on Saptashati. I got this from the house of the great Professor Jayan Naralikar of Kolhapur. He informed us that his one wall of his house is broken. I went there, collected some manuscript, and I got this manuscript because from Pumburli, Konkan, it came to the grandfather of Jain Narayakar, who was a Pauranika in Mahalakshmi temple in Kolhapur. So that manuscript is with me. If anybody is interested in publishing that manuscript, I will give it. So with this work, I again thank Dr. Jani and his team for offering this opportunity to deliver my lecture in fond memory, esteemed memory of Kulapati Munshiji, whom I met for nearly 4 years from 1967 to 1971. I had visited his house on the top floor of Bharati Vidyabhavan building, and I was, to say, wonderstruck to see the diamonds and other jewels in his house, in his showcase. With this, I thank everybody for a patient hearing. Thank you, Dr. Jani and Hitesh.
Sir, thanks a lot. It's a boon for us, sir. We are
Hello.
very obliged, sir. Thank you very much for this most enlightening lecture, and we were waiting for this from days and days and days together. Thank you very much, sir.
You are wish is fulfilled, but this is a newer gift to you.
It's a great thing, sir. It's a great thing.
This is a new year gift to you on the eve of New Year.
Yeah, of course, sir. Of course, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening lecture. We all are grateful to you for enlightening the various aspects and importance of manuscript studies, the fundamental subject of Oriental studies and research. Thank you very much, sir, for delivering this excellent lecture. Very nice lecture. Now I thank Shri Dasturji, Executive Secretary, Bharati Vidya Bhavan,